SundayGilas Pilipinas going for gold in the 3x3 basketball as the sport makes its debut in the Southeast Asian Games, and these guys are smiling beside me. The two-day 3x3 tournament tips off December 1st with the Philippines taking on Indonesia in its opening game for the men's division. And we still have with us Chris Newsome with us, and one of the four players who will represent the flag in men's 3x3 basketball in the SEA Games. And of course, we also have the team's head coach, PBA legend, Coach Ronnie Magsanong. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being with us. Coach Ronnie, of course, welcome back, Chris. Before we went on break, I just wanted to ask you, because for the PBA Governors Cup, right, it's going to come after the SEA Games. Right. Do you think this will affect like the momentum that Meralco and all the other teams have been having?
I don't necessarily think it will affect the momentum. I actually believe it will give the teams enough time to recover and kind of get on their feet and get ready for an even better semifinals matchup. You know, sometimes when you go into the semifinals and you're banged up, that can affect your play a little bit. Whereas this time, you know, the players that have injuries can actually fully recover, and each team will be 100% by the time they get the matchup, and I think that's going to lead to an even better matchup.
Wonderful. And Coach Ronnie, are we ready? 3x3.
I'd like to think that we will be ready by this weekend. We were given ample time to prepare. It's just that, of course, our national pool are part of the PBA, which ended its quarterfinals only last Sunday. So we'll take it from there, and hopefully we'll be able to compete and match up against the elite teams from Southeast Asia.
Okay, so explain, of course, 3x3. It's so different from your regular, you know, 5-on-5 type. So is there a certain type of player that you're looking for? I mean, you had your choices of several players, and you had to bring it down to only these four players. Of course, we have Chris, and we have CJ, and we have Mo, and Jason, who is also part of the team. What was it that you were looking for? Like, what can Chris actually bring to the team?
Well, number one, different in such a way that there are some rules that are different from the 5-on-5 game. But more or less, once you understand and shorten the mindset that you have, meaning it's the same game, it's just played in a shorter perimeter playing length. Once you understand that it's only for 12 seconds that you have that possession, mas madali-dali na. And this is already, I think, 6 or the 17 that I was able to handle. And natuto na rin ako. But more than that, natututo ako sa mga players na kasama ko. Now, regarding the prototype players, ideally, you want your players to be of the same height, probably on a 2 or 3 position. Kasi more or less yun yung nakasanayan na. But with what we have, this is the best of what we have based on the national pool that we were given. And a lot of the players that were in the initial list of the 12-man national pool started to get hurt one by one until such time that we only had 5 left in the pool, and 1 got hurt a week and a half before we made our final choice, and that was Macbelo. And so eventually we ended up with 4. But I'd like to believe that this is the best that we can have in terms of commitment, in terms of size and versatility, and I'm counting and banking on them to be able to bring home what the country expects from all of us.
Now, this will be a tall order, especially for somebody such as yourself, Chris. This is your first time that you will represent the Philippines. Now, what do you feel that you have that you can actually contribute to the team?
I feel that I have, first off, I have a great coach. He's actually done a really good job at teaching us the rules, because this is a different game. It's still basketball, but it's just a little bit different than the 5-on-5 format, 24 seconds. So you kind of have to think a little bit quicker, but at the same time, you also got to be able to slow that down. And Coach Ronnie has done a great job at teaching us how to manage the clock and to manage the rules of this game in order for us to get the wins. As far as what I can contribute, I feel like I'm very good on both ends of the floor as far as offensively and defensively. And also, I feel like that with 2 guys out, I feel like the lane is going to be that much bigger for me to get to the basket, and that's my actual strength, is getting to the basket. And at the same time, once help side comes, I'm really good at making that pass out for my teammates. So I think me being on a 3-on-3 team is good for my personal development, as well as getting to represent the country. That's an honor above all.
First time, no?
First time, I guess not only that, but you'll also be seeing the court a little bit different. I mean, with only 3 players, instead of your usual, you see like 10 guys on the basketball court. But how about the chemistry, Coach? Tell me more about that. These guys haven't really been playing together for a long time.
They played mostly against
each other, right? So you know each other's strengths, weaknesses,
correct,
diba?
correct. We can always look at things 2 ways. Either to create a disadvantage or use this situation to your advantage. So whatever time they have spent together should be harnessed towards building that cohesion. It's all about that kind of thinking because we cannot look back and look at the time that we did not share together. What we're trying to harness right now is the hours that they have tried to put in to bring out the best in each other. Because right now the biggest challenge is to make this 4-man roster a cohesive unit. And this is one thing that we are trying to work on in the last few days, and we have still 3 more practices left.
Few more days left, Coach. And of course, with that, we know our players. We know what we can bring. How about our opponents? Who do you see would be the biggest challenge?
From the scouting that we have done, it looks like Indonesia is a tough team.
Why so? What do they have?
They actually have a lot of grit. They're not necessarily the most talented, but they're very gritty. They'll play you physically. They'll try to get you frustrated. And I feel like that's something that is going to be on us to keep our composure in order for us to get the win with a team like that. And also, you got teams like Vietnam who have really, really good shooters. So for us, we're just going to have to run them off the line and force them to get to the basket and get the 1 point instead of the 2 points. So as long as we stick with our game plan, I think that we should be able to handle any team. But there's definitely some talent in this 3-on-3 pool.
Okay, Coach Ronnie, a tall order for you. First time to compete in the 3x3. How big are our chances of bringing home that gold?
Regarding the chances, I'm always one not to predict of what's going to happen eventually. All I can tell you, ma'am, is that we'll do our best to compete against the best teams in Southeast Asia. Just to add on to what Chris has said, alam mo kasi, Christine, lahat ng mga makakalaban natin are also professional 5-on-5 players who are big-name players in the Asian Basketball League.
Okay.
So, the notion is the PBA players is the top of the heap. I'd like to believe that one also. But these players have shortened the gap in terms of talent level, in terms of the ability to beat each other. And looking at what they have, saka pati mga coaches nila, hindi na rin yung katulad dati na hindi naglalaro. Ngayon, lahat mahuhusay na. And they brought in also some half-American players in the roster. So, all things equal, I'd like to just believe that we have an equal chance, 50-50 chance. But nothing is going to be easy because looking at the tournament schedule, we play 4 games in 1 day. And then if you make it all the way to the finals, you play an additional 4 games the next day.
And people don't understand how difficult it is to play 4 games in 1 day.
Never been done before.
Never been done before. But not only that, but this is 3x3. Right. It's totally different. It's fast.
Very fast.
I mean, your stamina must be incredible,
But it goes for every team. So I think it's also fair to say that every team will have to hurdle that huge challenge. But we just have to be ready for it.
Yeah.
Hindi ka naman pwedeng magdahilan na ganito o ganyan. All we need to do is prepare them the best way we can and hope that everything falls into place in order for us to get all the way to the top.
Well, we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, and we'll be cheering for you and hope to have you back here as you tell us your experiences in the scene. Maraming salamat, sir. Thank you. We had Chris Newsome and head coach, the legend, Ronnie Magsanov of the Gilas Pilipinas men's 3x3 team for the Southeast Asian Games.